All right, and we're live on Facebook. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good.
How was your weekend? How was your week?
Oh, well, I lost my happy thoughts there for a couple days, but I'm all good now.
Lost your happy thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It happens. It happens.
Oh, yeah. How about you? How was your week?
Busy, man. Super busy, as usual.
What's up, Devin?
Devin's in the house. Justin, how was your week?
Get in here.
It was pretty good.
Pretty good. All
Just
right.
work on the kitchen.
All right.
So, how's
So,
that kitchen going?
It's my worst nightmare.
worst nightmare. Oh, man. Just a lot of work or what?
Yeah, a lot of work. We just got the sink in now. All we have to do is put the tile in, so pretty excited for that.
That's legit.
Excellent.
I'm glad it's coming along for you.
You need a contractor when you got me.
Right?
Well, then you can come down here and help me redo all
Hey, I
this.
can do that.
All right. Well, we're Talk Interference Sports. I'm Nick,
I'm Eric.
and that's Justin.
I'm Justin.
And we're, kind of had a busy week, so I didn't really come up with too much to write down this week. For a second, I thought you guys were wearing Sounders sweatshirts. Glad you aren't. Oh, man, this Seahawks, baby.
Really?
Let's go.
Man,
Come on.
You couldn't figure that out?
Come on, man. You know better.
You use your eye holes, man.
Use your eye holes.
Don't hate on the Sounders.
All right. Well,
I'm not hitting on Sounders. I'm hitting on soccer.
didn't really
Football.
football. Patriots suck. Yo,
Bro.
let's go ahead and jump into that, man. That Patriots and Miami game was crazy. I understand why Gronkowski was in, but I'm not sure what yard line they were on, but I don't think it was far enough for them to have put Gronkowski in for a Hail Mary.
I don't know. I was actually unable to watch all of that game just because it wasn't broadcast on the channels that I have. Anyway.
Right.
So I only saw the last play where Miami won. So that's
was
all
crazy.
I saw of that game.
I don't understand why Gronkowski was in. I mean, I understand why he was in, but the thought process there was to go in there and catch a Hail Mary. Here's the thing. Why was Gronk in and Tannehill can't throw 80 yards? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you're so far down the field that a Hail Mary was not, like, really in the recipe or repertoire of the quarterback. Why was Gronk in? You need to play some defense. If that was an actual cornerback, that probably wouldn't have been a touchdown, and Miami wouldn't have won that game. But they ended up winning. They pulled it out, and that was a phenomenal game-ending touchdown. I don't care if you're a Patriots fan or not. That was really awesome to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the onside kick. I mean, you see it happen all the time, but how many times have you actually seen it work?
Kimberly says, "Hey, I like your sweater. Thanks. I like our sweaters too."
Yes.
Which one do you like better? It's Mahomes, then yes, but come on, man. No, man. Tannehill's not chucking that thing 80 yards down the field. That was bad defensive calling, just in my opinion.
Right, and I think the reason that they went with that opposed to that Hail Mary is because Tannehill knows his skill set.
I don't even know if it was so much that Tannehill knows his skill set, so much as the coaching staff knows.
Okay, well, whoever.
They were right.
But, I mean, what was that, 2 years? Was that last year or the year before? Where it was Aaron Rodgers, and he threw the Hail Mary, and it actually went through the rafters of the stadium.
Oh, no, I see. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, so it might have even been longer ago than that, but
I'm not surprised by that.
He did do it,
cannon.
And it was successful. But Tannehill's not that quarterback.
Tannehill's never been that quarterback.
And he never will be, but...
Go Hawks. I like it, Flo, bro. What's going on?
Bro, blow.
Pro Blow. What's going on, buddy? Yeah, man. That was just bad coaching, on my opinion. I don't know about you, but Gronk shouldn't have been in, and they lost because of that. That's how I see that.
I think Miami just got real lucky that all of those lateral passes and all that stuff worked, and good for them. And it was a great play, and I've watched it 4 or 5 different times, and it still makes me happy.
You know, I've watched it 4 or 5 times too, and I always like watching.
It reminded me of watching The Longest Yard. I think I even texted you that we were talking about it.
Yeah, you did.
And it's like, oh, let's just do some schoolyard bullshit, and that's exactly what it reminded me of.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just happy it worked. I don't care what team it is.
Get that ball into Frank Gore's hand with Gronkowski in the backfield. That's a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
That's a touchdown. I like it. Wish I saw the fourth quarter of that Hawks game. That Hawks game was, man.
We're going to jump right into that?
I guess we're going to jump right into that. Kimberly says they would have been better if they were Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns won.
They did win. The Cleveland Browns did win.
Beat Carolina.
Yeah. I like it. I'm a fan.
I love it.
I think we both are all three of us picked it.
I definitely picked the Browns because I pick them every week.
I think we all picked them. The Browns play really good at home right now. Like, not really good, but good enough that.
But I mean, it took the Saints into overtime to beat the Browns, and they tied the Steelers. And I think there was another game that they had that went into overtime as well. And a lot of the games that I've lost haven't been by many points. So, I mean, a few things break the other way for the Browns, and we could be talking about the Browns legitimately going to the playoffs.
I don't know if you want to go as far as to say legitimately going to the playoffs, but
they could easily be sitting at 7 wins instead of 4.
That's true. Very true. That's very true.
And
seeing Brady and Newton lose, I also like that, Fro. Kansas City gets knocked out first round. That's a bold statement.
I don't think it's inaccurate.
I don't think it's inaccurate. I don't think it's inaccurate at all.
I mean, we saw what the Rams did when they were faced with,
the Bears defense. Yeah.
And I think Kansas City would be the same way.
I was pulling up the Seahawks stats. I just wanted to say that game was so stagnant for a while.
Yeah.
The Seahawks won with Russell Wilson throwing 72 yards.
And 0 TDs.
72 yards, man. Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts.
It won the game with 72 yards. The defense won that game.
Yeah, yeah.
I was really feeling that they could have easily lost that in the first half of that game if Minnesota had scored a touchdown. As soon as they got the defensive touchdown, I was like, this game's over. This game's over. Seahawks got it, and I felt good.
Honestly, as soon as they got the first touchdown, I was like, no, it's done.
Goats lose games. Yeah, goats do lose games, man. It's true. Tom Brady does lose sometimes.
Absolutely, everyone does.
What I was gonna say is that as impressive as that was, I like seeing that the Seahawks are going back to that run the ball, ground and pound the ball mentality, and it's been working for them the last few weeks. And we're going into 3 weeks left of the season. It's 3 or 4 weeks left of the season.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
And they've got Kansas City, who might be benching some people.
Yeah, they got not St. Louis. They got the Chiefs, San Francisco, and the Cardinals.
Problem is, and we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. Problem is the Seahawks have San Francisco right now, who, if they don't win against, then we got bigger issues to talk about.
Absolutely agree.
If they don't beat San Francisco, we got bigger issues to talk about.
That game is also in San Francisco too, but
yeah, but
I don't think home field advantage is going to give the 49ers enough to beat the Hawks right now.
So many riddled injuries, or the team is so riddled with injuries that if they don't beat San Francisco this game, then we got bigger issues and probably shouldn't be in the playoffs.
Totally agree. And unlike some other teams, the 49ers circa Colin Kaepernick and Frank Gore and Michael Crabtree played the Seahawks hard because they were also a good team. But they didn't have the Seahawks number the way the Cardinals have in the past and also the Rams have had in the past.
The Rams have the Seahawks number way more than San Francisco does.
No, that Seattle San Francisco rivalry or whatever,
I think it's pretty dead.
I agree, because I think the real rivalry now is just like it was in the 90s with the Raiders. Now it's with the Rams.
I think so. I can agree with that. I can totally agree with that. So what are your thoughts on moving into that Seahawks game? You think they go back in there and just ground and pound the ball and control the clock and win it out?
I do. I mean, why mess with success? Don't fix something that isn't broken.
Is it going to be as big of a blowout as it was the last time the Seahawks played the 49ers?
I don't think so, just because I think the first time that the Seahawks played the 49ers, there was a lot more questions about the stoutness of that Seahawks team, and I think that was just a show of force.
Okay.
And they needed to win that game, and they needed to win by a lot, and they needed it to be, pretty much a shutout.
And it pretty much was, and they won 43-16.
Right. I mean, I don't mean like a shutout, like they score 0 points.
Right,
but I mean,
like
they
no
needed
chance.
to just put their foot on their throat right out of the gate and keep it there.
Do you think that this is going to be – so you don't think this is going to be the same case? You think it's going to be closer?
I think it can be.
You think it's going to be closer because it's in San Francisco, or do you think it's going to be closer because we've progressed a little bit into the season and now –
I think because the Seahawks only need one more game to
clinch a spot in the
playoffs, that they're probably going to – I don't know, but I would think that they would play a little bit more conservatively and, maybe if they get up 20 points on them, they go ahead and let whoever their backup quarterback is, you get some actual playing time. Not that that's actually ever really been in the Seahawks repertoire.
Yeah.
They've never really do that, and I think that's a mistake on their part. But maybe this is the time where, okay, our defense is just killing it. We can hold them off, and if we win by a field goal, whatever, we still win.
I hope it's not that close. I hope it's not that close. I actually hope that they blow them out way more than they did last time.
I just don't want to see, if we know we're going to win, pull Wilson.
Yeah, because we definitely need Wilson in
We need Wilson in the playoffs.
And we don't need to get him hurt against San Francisco.
I don't want to roll that dice and see him, blow out his knee or his ankle. As elusive as Russell Wilson is,
Like Michael Crandon.
You know damn well that it's only a matter of time before he actually gets hurt, and he's hurt significantly.
How hurt is Doug Baldwin? Why is he out for as long as...
He's just been plagued with injuries.
Seattle will destroy San Francisco.
And I just think that he's a player.
Right.
He wants to get in and play. If he's healthy, he wants to play. And I think that that's actually hurt him. And
He's dealing with a hip injury.
yeah, but he's been dealing with hip injury the whole season. So rather than just wait it out, get fully better, and then come back, he plays. and then he doesn't play, and then he plays, and he doesn't play. And
Is Doug Baldwin being out swaying how big of a threat or how much the Seahawks will score on San Francisco? You don't think so?
No.
You think the wide receiver core is deep enough or the running back core is deep enough that we put up another 40 points on them?
I do.
Okay.
I mean, you have Lockett, which has this year with Doug Baldwin being injured as much as he has been a big target for Wilson. You have Chris Carson, who can run and catch the ball. You have Rashad Penny, who had 2 or 3 good runs last game against the Vikings. And I think you're good, man.
All valid. I don't think Doug Baldwin sways the...
You have that other guy, Brown? I can't remember. More.
I also think that in all retrospect, as awesome as a wide receiver that Doug Baldwin is, Doug Baldwin has not put up the numbers, maybe because of the injuries that he's dealt with, but has not put up the numbers that he normally does. And I think he's only caught like 1 or 2 touchdowns. I think he caught his first touchdown like 2 weeks ago against San Francisco.
Right, so, but he's been injured.
That's what I'm saying is he's dealing with injuries. So I don't think he really sways that much of a offensive.
This year, no. I wouldn't trade him though.
No. I'm not.
I would
not
keep
saying
him around
that at
for
all.
Next year. I mean, when he's healthy, I think we're going to see the Doug Baldwin of old, and he's going to be right back up to where he was. Was that last season or the season before when
him and Russell Wilson connected so many times during December?
Yeah, and they had a higher passer receiver rating than Brady and Gronkowski.
Yeah.
And they didn't make the playoffs?
Right. And all I'm saying is that he is an offensive weapon, but they've done well without him this season, that when he finally is healthy enough to actually play consistently, then we're going to have more points on the board, where when we're playing against Minnesota, we score.
Totally agree.
You know what I'm saying?
The big story this year has been the Seattle defense, and everyone saying like, oh, maybe we would have won those first 2 games if Earl Thomas had been in. I think that if Doug Baldwin gets healthy, that would be a far bigger impact on the game than having Earl Thomas healthy.
I absolutely agree. And Devin just said something that I was going to bring up is Kelvin Benjamin got cut by Buffalo. And I was thinking that Seattle should have picked him up. He's a big dude. He catches pretty well. He wasn't very effective in Buffalo as I thought he should have been. But when he was in Carolina, he was pretty beast. Seattle could have done good things with him. And speaking of receivers that Seattle was dealing with, Brandon Marshall just got cut from New Orleans.
Got cut.
Yeah, he got cut. So
then Kendricks is hurt, the broken leg.
Yeah, Kendricks. Yeah, the guy who got in trouble for the insider trading earlier this season. He's played 1 or 2 games since he's came back, and he's 3.
Yeah,
the last game against Minnesota was
very, very present on the defense. Like when
for sure.
Yeah, him and Bobby Wagner have been smashing it up out there.
They said, I was reading KJ Wright, they're hoping to play a game before the playoffs, and he's practicing in no discomfort so far. So
right.
He was also
going to be coming in.
He was also supposed to play this Monday night game too.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. I would love to see KJ Wright back, but I don't think so. From things that I've talked to people about that I'm not going to disclose, just because I was out trying to go to an autograph signing of his, and then he canceled on it because of his injury. I don't think he's going to be back for a while. And just things that I've been told, though. I'm not disclosing things.
And honestly, if he's not healthy enough to play,
I don't want him in there.
right?
Yeah.
Stay out, get healthy, come back next season, or when he's actually healthy, and don't aggravate the injury and make it worse, and turn a ho-hum injury into a career-ending injury.
Right. That Ravens defense almost beat the Chiefs, man. That was pretty impressive.
That was a good game.
That was an excellent game. Did you watch that one?
I did. I watched that whole
great game. I was so rooting for the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
And they almost pulled it off.
They did.
It looked good.
But as was the story with almost every game I watched, the missed freaking field goals.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. These missed field goals are insanity.
Yeah. And field goals that for these same kickers historically have been chip shots for them.
I don't understand what's going on this season, but there has been a huge miss ratio in the field goal area. And I don't understand.
There's been a lot of bad snaps. I feel like there's been a lot of bad snaps this year, too.
I don't remember what game I was watching, but the guy missed a 33-yard field goal and then came back out and made the same 33-yard field goal on the opposite end of the field. And I'm like, that is the difference between the game because you missed that kick. Well, that's the Blair Walsh curse last year.
What was it? The Rams game, I think. Their kicker came out, missed two 30-yard field, a little over 30-yard field goals, and then made another one.
I don't understand.
But he almost missed it by overcorrecting.
Right.
Yeah, he was missing wide right, and then he almost missed wide left. I mean, it only made it in by
a
yard?
A hair, yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah. Steelers got upset. Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, the Steelers lost
to the Raiders.
Man.
So I guess I'm sorry, Sean, for not picking the Raiders.
Yo, I don't know if Sean's actually watching, but I don't even know if that was really the Raiders pulling everything together. More so that it's just an overall spectrum of how horrible the Steelers season has been, dealing with all of the off-field stuff and dealing with people getting injured, and just the running back position in general has been a mess.
Yeah.
The Steelers, man, they're still in playoff contention and are still in the same spot where they were, but you should not lose to the Raiders, man.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. I mean, other than it's just one of those any given Sunday situations.
Right. And it's not like the Raiders blew them out. I mean, they won by a field goal. And that's what I was talking about earlier in the season is the Raiders are a bad team, granted, but the Raiders do put up a dogfight. Mm-hmm. The Raiders have always this season put up a dogfight. And that dogfight, really all it takes is to kick that field goal and beat the Steelers.
Well, I mean, and they put up a good game against the Rams, too.
Absolutely.
And, they a lot of their losses, especially the early ones, but even some of the later ones, have been close. And it's kind of like the Browns. They could, and depending on how you want to look at it, they should have a much better record than they do.
Devin says the Chiefs almost lost to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens almost lost to the Raiders.
Yeah.
It's always a dogfight. It's always a dogfight. RG3 could have beat the Chiefs. I wanted that so bad. Yo, RG3, man, like when he came out, I was like, this would be Like, when I was watching it, I was like, this would be awesome if RG3 comes back onto the field and is the savior of the game and beats them and just couldn't cash in.
I was thinking that too, but that is a tall order for a guy
RG3?
to come in, for any quarterback to come in an overtime situation on 3rd and 22 or 3rd and 18.
I think he lost yards doing a
was,
short pass or something like that.
He did, but he got 2 passes, and the last one was 4th and 22, and the game ended.
I think that's partially his fault, though. I mean,
okay, but still, it was
understandable.
It was past 10 yards and 3rd down.
Right.
It was, 3rd and 16, 3rd and 18.
Not a likely
when he came into the game.
Right.
So the cards were kind of stacked against the guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I was still thinking, it was like, damn, RG3, one pass, and this game could take a whole
another
turn.
Yeah.
And
we'll flip the league upside down.
Super excited about it, and I was pulling for Baltimore real hard on that. I was like, oh, I want this so bad.
I was rooting.
But still, man.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about the Giants coming out and scoring 40 against the Washington Redskins, man? Ever since that Alex Smith injury, man.
They should come out and score 40 points against a team that doesn't have a quarterback.
They had Mark Sanchez in there, dude.
Like I said.
Why is Mark Sanchez in the league and Colin Kaepernick isn't? And
wow. Not to get into that kettle of
fish. I went into there, man.
But we all know why.
Protests or not, Colin Kaepernick's a better quarterback than Mark Sanchez is, man. Let's have that discussion, man.
No.
You don't think so? You don't want to touch that one? No. Colin Kaepernick's a better quarterback than Mark Sanchez.
I will agree with that. Yes. But
that's disgusting.
All that other stuff aside, I'm not getting into that.
Okay. Damn, bro. Like all I'm saying on the subject, and I'm not diving too deep into it, is Mark Sanchez should not be in the league after that butt fumble. That butt fumble will forever be painted on Mark Sanchez's name. And I'm saying it. He is the butt fumble. Everybody's going to remember him for the butt fumble. Don't bring that guy back. Don't put him on your roster. Don't. That's desperate.
Okay. Yeah, well, Washington is desperate.
Washington shouldn't be that desperate.
Yeah, well, the Red Sox shouldn't be so desperate that they had David Price in, and he saved the not save the World Series.
That's a stretch, bro. That's a huge difference.
He played really good. Excellent. He's a great pitcher.
You're comparing apples and oranges. Like,
I know.
David Price is a way better at his craft than Mark Sanchez at his craft.
That's fair. He is. But before the World Series, David Price had never won a postseason game.
All right, Devin. We love you. Thanks for stopping in, bro.
See you, man.
Insanity, man. All right, so let's go ahead and is there anything else on the week's games? Oh, the Bears and the Rams. You want to talk about that?
Actually, let's go back a second because there was another game. Oh, the Saints game.
Saints game.
Not that, Saints should have won that game. It was
a lot closer than it should have been.
I agree, especially up to the second half where the Buccaneers were leading.
Yeah, what happened there?
I don't know.
I thought that for a second there,
that should have been a shutout.
I thought for a second there that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers might have pulled that one out.
I did too. I was actually concerned. I was like, oh no.
Well, the Buccaneers had more yards than the Saints.
So are we?
Yeah.
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 So are we going to talk about the fact that this playoff picture is showing the Saints, who almost lost to Tampa Bay,
And lost to the Cowboys.
and the Rams, who lost to the Bears, who
Bears?
the defense is pretty stout. Like, I'm not going to say the Bears like that, but like
Right.
it's the Bears. Like, they're 9-4. They're a good team, but
Yeah.
they're
a good team.
they beat the Seahawks
Yeah.
early in the season. But I mean, if the Seahawks and the Bears played right now, I'm taking the Seahawks.
I agree.
But this playoff picture is looking crazy in the
And
NFC.
the Seahawks could and arguably should have beat them both times they faced the Rams, too.
Because that's true, and easily could have won. Yeah, easily could have won that game where he took the timeout.
Right.
Yeah, easily could have won that game.
Okay, maybe not both of them, but definitely one of them.
Yeah, the Seahawks are definitely a potential threat there for anybody in this playoff picture, especially if the Cowboys are beat. Honestly, everybody who's sitting in a playoff position right now, Saints, Rams, Vikings, Bears, Cowboys, the ones that I would be most worried about for the Seahawks would be the Cowboys.
Agreed. That's why I was saying last week that if the Seahawks make the postseason, which it's looking like they probably will, I would much rather them play the Bears than the Cowboys.
The Cowboys are – because I think the Cowboys would have home field advantage
They would.
over the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Because
it would either – the Seahawks wouldn't have home field advantage over either one of those teams. They would either be going – pardon me. They would either be going to Dallas or to Chicago.
Right.
And I would – as a Hawks fan, I would rather play the Bears in Chicago than I would
Dallas
the Cowboys in Dallas.
Yeah, because Dallas is looking pretty good right now. Amari Cooper went off. Like, now that Dak has a good wide receiver, like a number one guy.
But that being said, if the shoe was on the other foot and it was Dallas in Seattle,
I'd take Seattle.
I would be far less afraid of that.
Oh yeah.
But I think the cooler climate in Soldier Field is going to play. Well, it'll play in the Bears' hand, but
didn't pan out too well for them the last couple times that the Seahawks or the last time the Seahawks played the Bears in the playoffs. It was snowing there.
That's true.
And if I'm not mistaken, they lost by at least 2 scores.
I can't recall, but
it was a playoff game though.
I remember the game, but I don't remember the score.
Yeah, so but I'm looking at this.
If it was me, as a Hawks fan, if I had to put money on it and I got to pick between those two games, either Dallas or Chicago, I would take Chicago.
Bold shot in the dark here, but anybody on the board right now, including the Rams and Saints, the way that the Seahawks are playing, I could see them beating everybody here, given the circumstances that the Seahawks have been in the last couple weeks, other than the Cowboys. Hey, Dad. Feeling it. I like how the Seahawks are sitting right now.
Just knowing that would go through Dallas, I would agree with that. But if it was played anywhere other than Dallas, I would pick the Seahawks.
Be okay with that? Yeah. All right.
And I would say that they, I would say they win.
Okay. All right. Well, so is there anything else in the league that happened this week that you would like to?
Game was pretty crazy.
The Rams game was pretty crazy, and him and I were talking about it before the show. I'm not overly surprised that the Bears won. I'm just more surprised that they won in the fashion that they won because, Jared Goff is a better quarterback than that. throwing 4 interceptions.
Is he, though?
Yes.
I mean, have you watched his last 2 seasons?
I think
That's the difference,
Yeah.
and we've talked about that, as that's the difference in the head coaching. That's the difference in the head coaching.
Okay.
That's it. That's the difference in the head coaching.
Okay, let's go back 2 Super Bowls. It's the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos. You have the highest scoring offense in the league and the best defense in the league meet in the Super Bowl for what was arguably the most boring Super Bowl I've personally ever seen. Who won that game?
Fair enough, but I said, what does that have to do with the coaching that Jared Goff has now?
Just the fact that the Bears, maybe not the. I don't know. They might be the number 1 defense in the league.
They are.
Okay, they are. Okay, so they are. So you have the number 1 offense and the number 1 defense in the game.
It's a rough.
I don't know, man. I'm not sold on Jared Goff as a quarterback.
Okay.
They had a low yardage game.
And I'm not so much sure that the fact they can put up as many points as they do is attributed to his skill as it is to play calling.
Right. Not to switch us over on a completely other subject, but Fro brought up that on a different note, the Phoenix Suns owner is threatening to move the team up here to Seattle if the city doesn't put up $230 million to renovate the area or the arena. I posted about this on my Facebook.
Wouldn't that still have to go through the Board of Governors and all that?
I don't think so. As long it didn't have to go through the board when the Sonics moved. The ownership,
the ownership group had to vote on it unanimously to move the team.
And
right?
it's and that's different than the commissioners, like all the owners and everybody talking about moving the teams in an expansion type of a deal.
Okay, well, not an expansion, but the owners still have to vote on to move teams.
Yes, but from what I'm reading, the votes are super against not having taxpayers pay for the renovations of the arena. And the owner is like, well, if you guys aren't going to pay for it, I'm not going to pay for it, and I'm not going to renew this. Is from what I'm reading. What upsets me about that is it's the same damn thing that happened to the Sonics.
You know what? I would love to have the NBA back, but I wouldn't want to steal a team away from another city the way ours was stolen from ours.
That's what I was going to get into is I don't want that to happen for another city, for us to gain prosperity in another team or gain another team.
As much as I would love to have the NBA back.
But if it happens, I won't be opposed to it.
But I'm not going to say that I'm for that because I feel for Phoenix. And I don't want to have them go through what Seattle has, and as we have as Seattle fans,
right?
Having our team just
do that
ripped away from us.
Yeah, and I don't wish that upon any city's team.
And I also agree that the taxpayers shouldn't be paying for an arena.
These guys are freaking rich, greedy dudes, and he doesn't want to cough up the money for a freaking arena.
Right. To keep his
team.
To
keep his team, he's just going to move it to another city.
That's made him millions of dollars.
Yeah. Come on, dude. Yeah, that's horrible. That's a horrible thing to do. I hope that's not happening to Phoenix, but if it does, sorry, Phoenix, go Supersonics. That's where I'm leaving it at.
Yep, me too. Yeah. But
they might even go to Vegas. I've also read that they might go to Vegas.
If they do come to Seattle,
I would rather them.
Everybody who lives in Phoenix, I'll pour some out for you. I'll feel really bad, but I'm still going to.
I would rather them go to Las Vegas than Seattle get a team that way. That's just my personal opinion on it. But
right, there's no honor in that win.
There's not. And anybody who's an Oklahoma City Thunder fan that thinks that you're an Oklahoma City franchise, like, you should pour one out for yourself for the horribleness that Clay Bennett has stowed upon the Seattle area.
And Howard Schultz.
You burn, you Starbucks greedy dude, you. Oh, my gosh.
Freaking cocknocker.
Yeah, man. Horrible people, man. All right.
Actually, I was thinking about that this morning. I saw there's a one of those chilled Starbucks coffees, and I was kind of in a rush, and I was like, I'm gonna buy it. And then I was like, no,
not gonna do it.
F you, Charles Schultz. I'm gonna get a Rockstar.
Yeah. Those bangs, dude. Those little energy drinks that are called Bang. They're pretty good. I'll take that over anything Starbucks, man. The only reason why only time I drink anything Starbucks is if you bought me some Starbucks, I'll drink it.
That's not going to happen.
But I'm not buying Starbucks. None of my money's going towards Starbucks.
If I would rather some homeless guy offer me crack.
Yes.
Other than that, I'll just be tired.
Well, why don't you talk about that?
Some rugby?
Yeah, we'll talk about some rugby real quick. And then we'll get into our NFL picks. I know it's kind of, flip-floppy and we're doing whatever, but we didn't write a script this time. Or not even, we don't even really write scripts, but we write a structure.
Do we want to go into the picks and then we'll just cap it off?
Let's do this real quick because I got to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
So we'll go ahead and run some rugby real quick, and then we'll go into our NFL picks.
Okay. So, in the world of rugby, it's been an interesting couple of weeks. So, not last week, the weekend before was the Dubai Sevens tournament. And then this past weekend, there was a Sevens tournament in Cape Town. So the USA men's sevens team is now ranked number 1 in the world, and here's why. So in Dubai, the USA lost to Fiji, or they beat Fiji, and this past weekend they lost to Fiji 29-15. Fiji is the current or the defending Olympic champions. That's USA's second straight silver medal finish in a international rugby tournament. And earlier in the Dubai tournament, they beat England, and that cancels out the loss to New Zealand in Dubai. And because Team USA beat Fiji in Dubai, that's why they're number 1 in the world. So, Team USA is number 1 in the world. That's the first time in program history that they've ever been number 1.
That's exciting.
Yeah. And the last tournament, both Madison Hughes and Danny Barrett earned Dream Team honors, which, like I mentioned last week, is voted on by the World Rugby Broadcasting Team.
So is that like a USA commission, or is that like a universal like World Rugby Association type of a deal? That
no, that's the
votes on that.
The World Rugby announcers vote on based on the tournament.
Who did?
Yeah, who were the outstanding players for each team, and they just kind of make up, based on that tournament, the best rugby team out of all the teams that played. So Team USA had 2 players nominated.
Awesome.
So that's pretty cool. And Danny Burnett also won the UL Mark of Excellence Award.
What is that?
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to be square with you. No clue.
Okay.
But it is apparently a big deal.
Okay.
And
look up what the Mark of Excellence Award is in rugby. But, yeah, go ahead.
That's pretty much it. Because they lost to Fiji, but beat Fiji prior, and they lost to New Zealand,
and
but
then
beat England. But
and
England beat New Zealand.
And then Fiji beat both. USA beat Fiji and lost to Fiji.
Right. Because of all of that.
That marks USA number 1.
Some of those cancel out, and the wins and losses and some other previous losses that I'm not going to get into.
Did you just hear that eagle fly over?
Yeah.
Ah! USA number 1, baby.
1. Numero uno.
Let's go.
In Das World.
That's awesome.
How you say that?
Das World? Okay. All right. Let's roll into the NFL picks, bro.
I'm just saying, funny. It's an exciting time to be a USA
Watch rugby. Watch USA
fan.
rugby. That's what we're saying.
And
go Team USA.
A lot of the people are going to say that, okay, yeah, it's just 7s or whatever, because, the big money is, the big thing is always being the men's 15 or the women's 15s team, but
go men's 7s.
Just how it is laid out, all of these players have just as much or more skill, and they're the runners up to be on the 15s team. So it's cool.
I like
good stuff.
I like it. Watch USA rugby, guys. Do it. All right, man. Here comes our Week 15 NFL picks for the week. I'm glad Atlanta beat our Sounders rivals, the Timbers, in the MLS World Cup. Woo! I didn't even notice that. Did you notice that? Did you? No? All right. Hey, you know what? Go Sounders. Yep. Even though you're out, it's okay.
Next year.
Don't like the Timbers, so boo on you. Why is this game changer Ocho with the rugby news? What is this game changer?
Because rugby's really cool, Dennis. Check it out, Dennis.
Check it out, man. It's cool, dude. I'm telling you, rugby's legit. All right. Our Week 15 picks.
Are you tired of concussion protocol? Try rugby.
Or hockey. Or hockey. Both of them are good.
Agreed.
Week 15 picks. Right now. First game, Chargers at Chiefs. Rivalry game in Kansas City. Who are you picking and why?
What's the Chargers defense ranked?
The Chargers defense per NFL is ranked 8th. Their offense is 6th. The Chiefs is 1st, but their defense is 30th. Ooh.
I think I'm going to go with the Chargers.
I am too. Let's go. I want to see Phillip Rivers bombing on them.
I don't think it's going to be Phillip Rivers. I think it's going to be San Diego, the LA defense that's going to win that game. I think it's going to be just like the Bears.
You think so?
Maybe not as exaggerated, but yeah, I think that...
I think the Chiefs' defense... Whoa, wait. I also read something that Eric Berry is back this week. So the Chiefs' defense might be a little bit more stout. I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference.
Yeah, but they're still second from last in the league, so what that bumps them up another one.
Still picking the Chargers.
You know what? I think I am too.
I'm picking the Chargers.
Pick the Chargers.
You pick the Chargers?
Yeah.
All right. That's a clean sweep for the Chargers over here at Talk Interference Sports. We'll move on to the Texans visiting the Jets. Who are you picking, Justin?
Oh, I'm gonna go Jets.
He's picking the Jets.
It's all right to be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Last couple times that we've called Justin out on his picks,
We've been
he's been
proven
right.
wrong.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
like the Dolphin game.
yeah, well,
When you laugh
I'm
at
tired about hearing from the Chiefs too, man.
even a blind hog finds an acorn every now and then.
That's right. I am absolutely taking Houston.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. The Jets, not a horrible team.
Well, rookie.
They're 4-9, but they do put up a fight.
They do, but
I gotta take Houston.
The
Here, man.
Texans are on a 7-game win streak or something.
I'm not
ridiculous
entirely sure, but they definitely kicked
And-
up the notch and put their foot on the throttle and have
I
gone.
agree, and they've made some acquisitions this year that
The
really
pickup of
helped them out.
Demarius
Lost to the
Thomas.
Colts, so.
Yeah, by a field goal though, right? Was it a
Yeah.
field goal? Okay. All right.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
the Colts are playing good.
Yeah, and the Colts,
Colts
are playing good too. So.
Even though they lost the week prior. But regardless, I'm still taking the Texans. Dennis is taking the Texans. Fro's taking the Texans. And D is taking the Texans.
and I'm taking the Texans.
We're all taking the Texans.
except for
Except for Justin.
Justin,
So
because
Now we gotta laugh when I'm right.
we'll move on
yeah,
to the Cleveland Browns visiting Denver Broncos. As much as I want to pick Cleveland, I'm not going to. I always like seeing Denver at home because they are a force to be reckoned with at home. They aren't playing so hot lately as of recent. I think they won last week, though. Didn't they win last week? But I think they played somebody that wasn't really... Oh, they lost to the 49ers.
yeah.
Damn.
That's why I'm gonna pick the Cleveland Browns.
It was
And the Browns only have one road win.
Yeah. You know what?
They're about to
But
have
you know
two.
what? I'm still picking.
I'm
the Browns.
picking the Browns. I'm going to
Yes.
change it. I'm going to pick the Browns as well. I think, Dennis is taking Denver. It was 9, but they lost last week to the Colts. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take the Browns as well, man. I like Denver at home. And I wouldn't be surprised if Denver wins, honestly, and I wouldn't be surprised if Denver's defense just demolishes the Browns. But I think this is a trap pick or a trap game for the Broncos. I'm gonna pick the Browns. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's hard, but you have to ignore last season for the Browns. This is an entirely different team. And, like we were talking earlier, a couple things go the other way. And, I mean, you're talking about a no-shit Browns team.
And they're a dog-fighting team. That's what I was saying about them
they really
and
are.
the Raiders. The Raiders lose a lot, but both of those teams are dog-fighting teams. They'll put up the points.
Yeah.
And then lose by a touchdown or a field goal or
Right.
maybe 2 scores, or
It's
get completely blown out. But
it's not like
Not that
the
there's
Browns
much of a
of last
difference.
year or the year before that or the year before that, where it's like any team that's any good just goes into Cleveland and just stomps all over them. The Saints had a hard time beating the Browns. They did eventually, but it took them to overtime. The Steelers tied the Browns, and these are both teams that we're talking about. I mean,
championship caliber teams.
The Saints are a no-shit championship caliber team this year.
Absolutely.
And it took them to overtime to beat the Browns.
I'm taking the Browns. I like it. Totally good call, man. I like it.
And,
All right.
And Landry's been doing good. Mayfield's doing. He's passable for a rookie. This is his rookie season, and he didn't. It's not like he had the advantage that Aaron Rodgers had, being second to Brett frickin' Favre.
I get you. Understandable.
Not everyone can step into that role like Russell Wilson did, and
Well, Russell Wilson was competing against Matt Flynn, so let's.
right, but still, he didn't have like a top tier quarterback mentoring him.
Right, that's what I'm
Like-
saying. Yeah, and just hop into the
Right.
shoot and go.
Like-
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback, but he needs guidance.
I think he needs a few more years just because of
Agreed.
all of the coaching staff issues that they've had.
That's
but
why I was saying
still
that
very moldable.
it's hard. It's very, very rare to find a quarterback like Russell Wilson who can come from college and then be a competitive NFL quarterback.
Yeah, still very moldable. Still very moldable.
So, but even at that, I mean, he has the raw talent and the loose structure of a good quarterback,
I totally agree.
of a good NFL quarterback. I
Right.
mean,
Or
obviously he was a great college quarterback
or CFL quarterback. I'm just saying.
or XFL quarterback.
Hey, they're taking LinkedIn freaking resumes, guys. If you want to play for the XFL, go look at them on LinkedIn in a town near you.
And as long as you, at least from what I've heard, are not a criminal.
You can play for the XFL.
If you're not a criminal, apparently, is the new thing.
Yeah, because the NFL takes criminals, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Or they just produce
Yeah.
criminals. We're not going to go there.
No. Well, I mean, Michael Vick,
Oh, Brandon Browner.
Hernandez.
Whoa. Ray
So
Lewis.
I'm not that
allegedly.
I'm not that afraid. He's in prison. Yeah. What was it? Yeah. Whatever.
Ray Lewis alleged. No, he's dead. Aaron
Oh yeah, that's right. He
Hernandez
hung
is-
himself. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm super not afraid now.
Jesus, bro.
My bad. I can't keep up on everybody who's died. Jesus.
Oh no. What just happened? Okay. We're going to the Packers
Although
visiting the
even
Bears.
at all that, still gotta love you, Pac-Man.
We're going to the
Please don't shoot me in a strip club.
The Packers are playing the Bears in Soldier Stadium.
No matter. It's the Bears going win that one.
I'm
Yeah,
not
the
taking
Bears.
the Packers. I wouldn't touch them with your stick.
Yeah. And you know what? I was giving my buddy a work shit about this because he's a big Packers fan. Hit him up. He was like, he got all happy and shit. He's like, oh, Mike McCarthy got fired, bro. Packers gonna turn around.
Yeah,
go
my
win."
friend said the same thing too.
And I looked at him and I was like, bro, the Browns have the same records as the Packers.
Yeah. I wouldn't touch him with your stick, bro.
Likewise. I'm picking the Bears all
XFL
day
last
on
year
that one.
again this time around. I like it. Last year this time around. I like it. I don't know if that's going to last even a year. Let's cancel it halfway through the season.
I'm not
Well,
sure if it's going to actually get off the
Let's
ground, but
get a lockout going already.
Jesus.
The Lions versus the Bills. This one's rough, man.
All right, where's my coin?
Where's my
Damn.
coin? I don't even know who to pick, man. I'm going to pick the Bills simply because they're at home.
Honestly, my gut is telling me Bills.
I'm taking the
Lions.
I'm taking the Bills
Fucking
just
of
because
course
they're.
you will.
I mean, they beat the Cardinals. I mean, I know they have
Hey.
no quarterback.
Oh, yeah, the
Of
Cardinals.
course.
That's a real test.
Man, I'm taking the Bills. I got the Bills.
Yeah, I have nothing to back it up, but I'm just saying.
This is literally like the Lions never show up when they're supposed to,
I know they do, and
and then when they do, it's just whatever whenever they do, and it's
Although
barely.
I think go back to that, because I think this right here is going to be the difference maker.
NFL says the Bills have the best defense in the league, but I really just kind of disagree with that. Like, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know what they're basing it off
But
of.
even if they're not
you could easily tell me that the Cardinals have the best defense in the league.
If they're not the first, then okay, they're the third.
Josh Allen is going to have a good game. I like it. I think so too. Detroit's just not. They're just mediocre.
Yeah, they're pretty much the middle of the pack on
They're
everything.
less than mediocre. And
Yeah,
the Bills are just a little bit. The Bills are just a little bit worse with a better defense, with a horrible offense
and better rushing. So good rushing and a good defense.
All right, moving on.
Which I mean,
Niall says hi to everyone.
What's up, Niall? What up?
Oh hey,
what's going on, Nine?
Bree sent me a video and he's like, "Hi."
What's up, boy?
The Ravens
What's up, baby Justin?
are at home against the Bucks.
I'm taking the Ravens.
I'm taking the Ravens also. That defense is stout, and I would put money right now saying that Justin's going to take the Buccaneers.
Yeah, buddy. I like doing the underdogs. It's fun being right sometimes.
I mean, the defense, yes, but also seeing what the offense was capable of pulling out against the Chiefs.
Yeah,
you know, I'm liking the Ravens right now.
I'm liking the Ravens also, and I think that Dennis takes in the Bucks too.
It's all right.
Hey, you know what?
I'm all about Bodymore.
Bodymore. The Western District way, baby. For my Wire fans out there, I'm taking Baltimore. We're gonna leave it at that. Moving on to the Cardinals versus the Falcons.
All right, now get the
in Atlanta.
Christ.
I don't understand how the freaking Cardinals have 3 wins. I'm going to go Tampa because I don't need Steelers playing the Ravens again. Hey, I feel for you, D. Joe, I'm sorry. Steelers have not been playing hot right now, and I think the Ravens would probably beat the Steelers if they met up.
Agreed.
Jeez. Are we really breaking out a coin?
Huh?
Oh, he's over here eating pepperoni sticks or something.
You know what? You guys talk about it. I'm gonna use the restroom and I'll grab the coin.
Okay.
That's my coin flip.
I'm not sold on the Falcons in general. But the Falcons could win it because they have the weapons to, but they're so injured right now that it's just you don't know what team's going to show up. It is in Atlanta. They are playing the Cardinals, and everything tells me that I should pick the Falcons.
I don't know.
But I'm kind of on the fence about it because the Cardinals surprised me with a win 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago against the Packers. Now, I'm not saying that the Packers are a phenomenal team this year.
I think they're better than Atlanta this year, though.
I picked the cheerleaders over the Falcons and Cardinals. I like it, Dennis. I'll pick the referees, man. The referees will win that game. Seahawks. Hey, Jeremy, I like it, man. I'm all about it. All about it. Falcons just because the Seahawks or the Cardinals are in the Seahawks division. I want to take the Falcons and root against the Rams and the 49ers and the Cardinals just as much as you guys do. But something is really honestly telling me that I should pick the Cardinals this week, man.
What do you want me to pick?
I didn't think the Browns would beat the Falcons, but honestly, I wasn't surprised. So, yeah, I'm stuck at an impasse here, guys, and I think I'm going to pick the Cardinals. The Cardinals are pretty much 32nd and 31st in everything but defense. Offense, they're last. Passing, they're last. Rushing, they're 31st. Defense, they're 15th. The offensive weapons that Atlanta has could potentially give you a blowout. I'm picking the Cardinals, man. I'm picking the Cardinals for an upset. And I don't even really know if that's an upset. Really. I'm taking the Cardinals.
I'm picking the Cardinals too.
Flip it.
Which one's which? You tell me.
Shout out to all those firefighters. This is the Cardinals.
Cardinals?
Okay. He's picking the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
It's a straight sweep here.
Let's get it.
Taking the Cardinals. All right, moving on. Bengals versus the Raiders. And the Bengals have dropped so many games the last couple weeks. I'm taking the Raiders.
I agree.
And it's not even because the Raiders won last week. It's because the Bengals have been playing so bad.
Well, and they're minus Andy Dalton and
Andy Dalton.
I think AJ Green's still out too.
I think you're right.
I'm gonna go Bengals just for my boy Troy.
Yeah. I'm definitely on board with Oakland. Who are you picking?
I'm gonna pick the Bengals.
Bengals?
Yeah.
You're picking Oakland also?
Yes.
All right.
I'm going to Oakland.
The Giants put up a nasty 40 points, and they are at home against the Titans. Who are you picking, Justin, and why?
I think it's gonna be a good game. I think I'm gonna pick the Titans because the Giants are, they do good sometimes, they do bad sometimes, or both times.
Beast mode. Is he back?
I think I'm gonna pick the Titans.
The Titans?
Yeah,
all right.
Just
I mean, you could also say the same thing about the Titans too.
I
think
just feel like the Titans never show up when they need to show up.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly.
And then when they do show up, it's at times when you're like, oh, the Titans? Yeah.
Well, it's just like, was it the Titans or was it the Jaguars that beat New England earlier this year?
The Titans beat New England.
Okay, it was Titans. Yeah.
I'm also going to be an advocate and say, shoot me in the foot right here when I say this. Green is still out. Giants because of Barkley. Yeah, Barkley's a beast, and I love that. I picked up Patrick Mahomes for all of you fantasy players out there. I picked up Patrick Mahomes off of waivers in week 2 and traded him week 3 for Barkley. And I'm not even looking back because I still got Jared Goff and Aaron Rodgers in the quarterback position. So Patrick Mahomes wasn't like not even that big of a deal to me. Barkley, Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, we're good, baby. I'm just saying. But sorry. What I wanted to say was the Titans never show up, and I'm going to be an advocate and say Odell Beckham Jr. should be the quarterback of the New York Giants because he has thrown 2 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Well, I don't know about all of that, but I'm still
Perfect quarterback
I'm taking
rating.
the Giants.
Perfect quarterback rating. No, you don't think so? I'm just kidding.
I'm picking the Giants, man.
I'm picking the Giants too.
Oh, and Disa is the
Jags and the Titans.
Jags and Titans beat
Both.
New England.
Okay. All right.
For us, picking Titans because Mariota's from the Pacific Northwest.
All right. Hey, you know what? I can't say go Oregon, but I can say go Army beat Navy. Hey, let's go. So we're moving on to the Dolphins versus the Vikings in Minnesota. You might as well break out that coin again because I don't know who to pick.
Well,
And the Vikings looked horrible against the Seahawks.
I had my coin flip, so go ahead.
All right, you pick this time.
Class number will be Vikings.
Okay,
And then
flip it.
Butterfingers.
okay.
So, I'm taking the Vikings.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I'm gonna pick the Dolphins.
if I was going to pick one or the other, I would have picked Miami. But I honestly don't feel too bad about that because it is Minnesota in Minnesota. So, I'm going to take Minnesota because of the coin flip. But either way, I wouldn't be surprised how this game turns out. That miracle comeback touchdown with 0 seconds on the clock, ball to Frank Gore, Gronkowski in the backfield. Not surprised by either of it or by that because Gronkowski was in the backfield. So Minnesota could the Vikings could win, or the Dolphins could win, but I like Minnesota just because they're at home. So that coin flip kind of worked in my favor.
Damn. I was gonna pick Minnesota without a doubt, but everything you just said, I'm kind of leaning towards the Dolphins now.
I think it's going to be Minnesota just because they're at home. Really, honestly, that's really all it boils down to. Because the Dolphins, they were in Miami.
I was leaning towards Miami until you said that it was in Minnesota, and then I was like, okay, the Vikings got this.
Yeah, they beat. Okay, realistically, that touchdown was phenomenal.
But they beat them by
Patriots,
1 point.
The Patriots messed up. And the only reason why they lost by 1 point is because Gostkowski missed that extra point.
Right.
It would have went into overtime. Whatever. It happens. It's football. It happens. That doesn't make the Dolphins better than New England. Doesn't make the Dolphins a great team. Shit happens. I'm taking Minnesota.
I know. I honestly, I want to pick Minnesota. But every time I pick against the Dolphins, it seems like they win.
Right? Just them and Tennessee, man. Every time I make these picks, dude, it's them and Tennessee that just screws me over.
Every freaking time.
Every week.
I think I'm their good luck charm.
And then earlier it was the Cowboys, but so
they're playing a little more consistently now.
Yeah,
so
now they are, but
pick
like at first it was just like, oh, they win, they lose, they win, they lose, they win, they lose.
Right.
Like, oh, this is the team they should beat. They lose. Shit.
Who's next on the?
I'm gonna pick Miami.
Okay. The Redskins versus the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville.
All right, your turn to flip.
Yo.
All right, I'll flip the coin.
I'll go ahead and say
I'm going to go with Jacksonville.
I'm also going to take Jacksonville. Jacksonville has
but you still have to flip the coin.
Okay.
Jacksonville has been playing, pretty poorly this whole year, and the Redskins are playing even more poorly just because
they don't have a quarterback.
They don't have a quarterback. They have Mark Sanchez,
so they don't really have a quarterback.
I'm taking Jacksonville.
So, and I'm going to take back what I said earlier. But
what did you say earlier?
About the David Price. And
right. That was comparing apples and oranges.
Yeah. I thought about that. That's completely different.
Absolutely.
If I was going to make that comparison, it would be more like David Price and Tony Romo.
Just Just leave it as it is.
Well, because he never won a playoff game either.
No, but
Well, at first,
David Price is still a better pitcher than Tony Romo was a quarterback.
But David Price, trust me, Boston fan right here, great pitcher. Great. All right, I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Bro, say what you want to say, man. Go ahead, say what you want to say.
No, man.
Say, David Price is, and I
am not at all talking bad about David Price. Not at all. What I was trying to say was that people's thoughts on him.
Right. I got you.
Right. Not his athletic ability, not the pitcher that he is. And will probably for a couple more seasons at least continue to be. Hopefully. I was only thinking
different than comparing it to Tony Romo, though.
Yeah, but I mean, people's expectations, though. So
I think if you wanted to go down that route, no. I think if you wanted to go down that route, you're more comparable to Dak Prescott. If you wanted to go David Price and Dak Prescott, I could more maybe agree on that, but. Yeah, but we're talking about two different sports, and we're trying to compare two different crafts, and it's just not. It's a messy situation.
It doesn't really work, but
it doesn't.
I say is if your quarterback got you to the playoffs, and then your quarterback got hurt, you could do worse than picking up Tony Romo.
Okay, fair enough. I could agree with that. Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Lay that to rest. I got you.
Chris Sale got the Red Sox to the playoffs. He got hurt. David Price was in the bullpen, had a great year, but all of the people were talking bad about him because he has
inconsistency.
Not so much inconsistency, but he had 0 wins in the postseason. Every postseason game he pitched, he lost until this year, and then he was phenomenal, and then he either was or should have been the World Series MVP.
I totally agree with that, but we're getting sidetracked from the NFL picks.
I just wanted to clarify on that.
I hear you.
That's where I was coming from.
I got you.
So,
all right.
Now it's out there.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I totally agree. David Price should have won the MVP. But we're going to go Dallas is visiting the Colts. That one's hard, too.
Oh, no. Justin still has to flip the coin for the last pick.
Okay. Let me see some of that.
Hit it.
Jags. Okay. What happened in Minnesota? The Seahawks in Minnesota played the Seahawks in Minnesota. They missed the game-winning field goal, sending the Seahawks to the playoffs. Can we move on to that game to the game to Mexico and not air it on TV? Why would you want to do that? That's brutal, man. I felt so bad for Minnesota when they missed that kick. I felt bad for Minnesota when they missed that kick. I felt bad for Minnesota when they missed that kick, but I felt great being a Seahawks fan. But all of the great feelings that I had totally washed away after we picked up Blair Walsh, and then we had a horrible season because of Blair Walsh. So that got washed away. I won't talk about that. Hey, guys, your California Chiefs fan in the house. What's up, dude? How are you feeling, man? I haven't talked to you guys or talked to you in a little while. After watching that Monday night game, I'm not worried at all with the Seahawks taking on my Chiefs in week 2. Hey, you know what? The only reason why I could say that the Chiefs could lose to the Seahawks in Arrowhead Stadium is because it's so far along and so far advanced into the season that they might have people benched on the starting roster, that they don't care enough to play the Seahawks. No, he's not. 2 different divisions.
You're right.
Dallas will
My
win
bad.
that game, no doubt.
Okay.
Colts favored by 3 in Vegas odds. Dallas is on a roll. I totally agree. Cowboys, I told y'all Cowboys were going to beat the Saints, and y'all thought I was crazy. You're right, man. And
Did.
I'm sorry for doubting you. That game put me to sleep. It was pretty boring,
All hail the Oracle.
except that Seahawks defense towards the second half. I'm just saying. But Cowboys visiting Cowboys visiting the Colts. I'm going to take the Colts on a high ride that it's in Indianapolis. And I feel that T.Y. Hilton is going to go off. Dallas is riding super strong right now. Dallas is probably super favored. What was the odds? You said Colts
Dallas.
favored by 3?
Yeah, and
I'm taking the Colts.
Okay, wow. And so that means pretty much dead even because Vegas will give you 3 points for home field
advantage. So it's a coin flip for Vegas.
That being said, I am going to side with Vegas and go with Colts.
Gary, we already picked the Chargers-Chiefs game. I hope that the Chiefs win for your sake, but we all picked the Chargers just simply for the fact that the Chiefs were kind of exposed by the Ravens, I think. They still got the win, right? But I can see the way that the Chargers have been playing.
The Chargers have a good defense.
And the Chargers have a good defense. Chargers do have a good defense. Well, we all picked the Chargers.
And I'm envisioning
been a good game with the
Chiefs
Colts
running into a
Cowboys defense. Yeah.
brick-ish wall.
Mm.
And the Chargers being able to hold them up enough defensively that Phillip Rivers can overcome and win by a touchdown.
I think a touchdown and a field goal is very likely that the Chargers win by. If not, the Chiefs are going to blow them out. That's really what I think. I think it's more likely that
I think that game is going to be a one-score game, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. But I think it could go either way.
If the Chiefs win this game, they blow the Chargers out. If the Chargers win, it's a close game. That's how I feel.
I feel like it's going to be more like Rams-Bears.
What's the next pick?
Hey, Gary, I lived in Kansas while I was in the Army for 5 years, and I went to multiple Chiefs games, and multiple of those Chiefs games that I went to were Chargers and Chiefs games, and it didn't matter whether the Chiefs or the Chargers were good that year. They always put up a good game. It was always a really great game. In Arrowhead, anyway. I don't know about in San Diego at that time, but the Chargers always gave the Chiefs a run for their money, even when both teams were bad. So
That's true.
Always good when the rivalry is there. I always like watching the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Broncos, all 3 of those teams. When they play, it's always a good game.
And you also have to throw the Raiders in that mix, too. Well, especially the Raiders-Broncos.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Seattle is going into San Francisco.
And they're going to stomp on them.
And I hope they stomp them, but I think it's going to be a little bit closer than everybody's thinking.
Yeah, I do too.
Just because it's in San Francisco and it's a rivalry game. and they didn't look that good offensively against the Vikings at home.
And honestly, against a terrible San Francisco team, they only put up 162 yards. The last time
I don't know what the numbers were for how many yards they put up, but Russell Wilson only threw 72 yards.
No, I mean the last time
They played against San Francisco.
played against San Francisco, Russell Wilson only threw for like 172 yards.
I don't really think that matters. They
185
blew
yards.
them up. They blew them out.
Okay, whatever.
43 to 16.
It was still sub 200 yards.
And the 49ers 3 for 414 yards.
I gotta laugh at you, Dennis. You really think the 49ers are gonna beat the Seahawks this week? That's crazy, man. San Francisco has nothing to play for this season. Seahawks are gonna win this one,
Except for that it's a rivalry game and it means something to the Seahawks. So
it means something to the Seahawks. Every win the rest of the season means something to the Seahawks.
yeah, but if they don't beat the 49ers, I doubt they'll beat the Chiefs. But they could. And then they could beat the Cardinals. They only need one more win, and they're in the playoffs.
That's true.
It doesn't matter who it is.
It's not a throwaway game, though. We're still fighting for a playoff position. It's not a throwaway game.
Exactly.
They're gonna come out there and they're gonna freaking win.
I think
They're gonna fight.
I think they're gonna win. I just think they play a little bit more conservatively because rather than win by 30 points, they can win by 10.
I don't think there's a reason to play conservatively against this San Francisco team
That doesn't have a quarterback.
that doesn't have a quarterback. Their running back's basically a practice squad running back.
Right.
Their defense is riddled with injuries. There's no reason to play conservatively against these guys.
I mean, they
Yeah,
did have-
Just keep the ball away from the right side of the field against Richard Sherman, and you'll cut him up.
we definitely hope our defense. I mean, they had 414.
Seahawks
yards
team
against us.
always – say what?
They had 414 yards against us, even though they lost, but that's
Right.
still compared to our 185.
That's defensive.
Yeah,
though.
that's the same.
Yeah,
Hopefully
yeah.
our defense.
B-Wags is on fire, dude.
Yeah, he is.
Seahawks seem to always play down or up their that's true, Dennis, but you know, I'm a biased Seahawks fan, so hey, Seahawks! One more win. That's what we're talking about. Out of the last 3 games the Seahawks you have to win at least 2. I think they just win 1 and they clinch. But
Yeah.
I'm not 100% positive, but
I'm 99%
pretty sure.
sure that it's just one more win and then
We
we're
got
in the
three
playoffs.
more games to pick, and we're at an hour 28. So
let's get it done.
let's pop this off. Patriots are visiting the Steelers.
Patriots.
I'm taking the Patriots also. There's no way the Steelers, after the way that they've played, Patriots are going to win this one.
I'm gonna go Steelers.
Of course you are.
I don't like the Patriots, and I mean the Miami Dolphins were able to keep up with the Patriots the last game.
Yeah, and the Browns were able to keep up with the Steelers, so
That's true.
Philadelphia is going into Los Angeles.
Rams.
I'm taking the Rams as well.
The Eagles.
Well, I never picked the Rams. You guys know that.
Okay, so you picked the Eagles, right?
Yeah, I picked the Eagles.
Okay. Saints versus Panthers.
Saints.
Stupid, the Saints.
I'm taking the Saints also. Sorry, we just sped through that one, but we're running out of time. Got a lot of other stuff to do outside of the podcast, and we kind of just rambled for a little bit about everything, and I like it. It was
Yeah, we
good.
did.
It was
You
good.
had a good Seahawks talk for.
Well, and you guys liked it, right? Come on now.
I hope so, because we had pretty consistent people in here, and I love that you guys are in here talking to us. It's fantastic. Go Eagles. All right, Gary. Panthers. Hate both teams. I like it. Picking the Rams. I hope they tie. I hope they tie too, actually. I hope they tie. That's true. we're looking at the playoff pictures here, and it's looking really tight. And we'll start talking about it next week following, because this is getting really tight, guys. The playoffs are looking good. NBA season is getting really deep. Hockey season's getting really deep. Once we start running out of 32 teams to talk about, we're going to start talking about some NBA. We're going to start talking about some NHL. We're going to start talking more about rugby. We're going to start talking about all of this other stuff because, there's not 32 teams to talk about for an hour and a half. And really, we're trying to bump this down to an hour. And we failed to do so the last couple weeks.
We've been trying. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to say anything bad about our opportunity to talk to the great Brett Boone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
if you guys didn't see last week's show,
go back.
Go watch last week's show. We interviewed Brett Boone from the Seattle Mariners, Cincinnati Reds, the great family of the Boones.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Boone, New York Yankees coach.
Yeah, his brother. His dad played for the Phillies.
It was phenomenal.
His grandpa was an MLB slugger.
If you guys,
it was great.
If you guys missed that one, go back, watch it. The first 45 minutes of the show was interviewing Brett Boone. If you're a Seattle fan, go check that out. If you're a
baseball fan,
go check that out.
I mean, I could listen to that man talk for hours.
I really hope we get him back on the show again.
I do too. That was great.
So awesome. We have a bat drive going. I've got a bat with a whole bunch of signatures on it from the Seattle Mariners, and we're looking to improve the quality of our show. If you guys want to donate to the show and have a chance to win the bat, we have a $3 minimum for one raffle. If you buy 6, 8, 9, you get 2, 3, 4 raffles. Obviously, every $3 gets you one raffle. You donate to us at Venmo, Nick, N-I-C-K, dash Eubanks, EUBANKS, dash 2, the number 2. If you donate to us there, you'll be entered into the raffle for the bat with signatures of people like Rick Riz, Rich Franklin, who's the other guy? Jay Buhner. There's 9 people on the bat that I have. If you're interested in getting a bat that's signed by 9 people, go ahead, donate. We're looking for some donations. Shout out to NFL Addiction. Those guys are phenomenal. They always help us out with sharing our videos. Game Changer Sports Network. If you're not watching Game Changer Sports Network and you are watching our show, go ahead and go to their Facebook, like them. That's where we primarily broadcast on. We are moving over to Twitch. We're on twitch.com/Rictorshoue, RICTORSHOUE. That's where we're at right now, but we're going to move over to the Game Changer Sports Network once we get some things hashed out. Guys, check out our Twitter, our Instagram, our Facebook, everything. Talk Interference Sports. Look it up. We're available everywhere. I can't thank you guys enough for all of the fanship that you guys are giving to us. I mean, consistently, guys, you guys are out here watching us Huskies play January 1st for the Pac-12 tournament. Yep. I don't really care about it, but hey, go Huskies, go Cougars, and go Army beat Navy. Got anything else to add?
Yeah, I do. In this giving season or whatnot, being a big rugby fan myself, check out the Oscar Mike Foundation. They do a really cool thing with wounded service members.
Oh, I like that.
And they provide transportation and also team opportunities for wounded veterans to play basketball, They just played a wheelchair rugby tournament in Columbus, Ohio, and all the Tough Mudders and all those things. They have a team out there with people who have served our country and need some extra help. So if you're looking for somewhere to donate, please check them out and
donate to them before us.
And think about that. That's a really stand-up organization. I know a couple of people that are members, and they do a really solid thing for all of those men and women. So
yeah, go check that out.
Go check that out. If you can donate, they have T-shirts available. So buy a T-shirt, donate directly to the Oscar Mike Foundation if you want. It's just something I found that I thought was really important to throw out to everybody.
Absolutely. Go check that out. Oscar Mike Foundation. Fantastic.
It's on Facebook.
It's on Facebook. I'm sure you can find it online in Google anyway.
You can Google
check it out.
Oscar Mike Foundation or the Oscar Mike Militia. That's the wheelchair rugby team.
Check them out.
Check that out. Definitely look into it, man.
All right, guys. So thanks for watching us. I think we'll be back next week before Christmas, right? We'll be back before Christmas.
The day after Christmas.
No, there's the 18th or the 19th before.
Oh.
So we got one more week before Christmas, but get your Christmas shopping in and, don't fight those crowds. Get it in quick. All right, guys. We love you guys.
Later.
Later.